Jesus is King. Welcome to the OnePeterFive podcast, rebuilding Christendom, restoring Catholic culture and tradition. I'm Timothy Flanders.
I think it's clear from the tradition that the liturgical rites of the church have a certain precedence over the Pope. He is not the master and possessor of the liturgical rites of the church.
And this is where we get to the issue. You've got to follow the Pope, which is which Pope? The one now or the one before?
We don't need to look for a sort of celebrated moment when the Pope in full regalia steps out and sits on his throne and proclaims a dogma about Our Lady. I mean, that is an example of an infallible, but they don't all look like that.
People, especially academics today, they have this romantic vision of the noble savage, which goes back to Rousseau and Voltaire. It's a haunting image in Western civilization, but it's just not true.
In lying, St. Thomas says, is that it's actually contrary to the natural law because it's against the very nature of speech to say something that is contrary to what we know is true. In other words, it's contrary to the very way that God structured us to think.
If you had a building and you just destroyed or altered 87% of that building,
right,
that's violence. So that's the pie of the Latin Mass that you get in the most reverent Novus Ordo possible, right, of the prayers that exist in the Latin Mass. And these are prayers that reference things like sin, hell, wrath.
It's not the deception where the problem is. The deception, the real problem, so deception can be either justified or non-justified. The real problem is whether you're saying something that's true or not. You just can't say what's materially false, because if you do that, then it's abusive of your faculty of speech.
Where does the nature of a thing lie such that as you change it, it becomes a different thing? The Novus Ordo simply is not the Roman Rite, it's a different rite. And that was not what Sacrosanctum Concilium asked for. The Sacrosanctum Concilium asked for a renewal of the Roman Rite.
The American Indians, I use that in the sense of North and South American, were human beings. And human beings, especially if they don't have the faith, have a very weird tendency, being fallen, to be as nasty to one another as they can get away with.
I mean, just think about the massive size of the country of Canada. It's bigger than the United States, a little bit smaller than Russia. And there were 150, 200, maybe 300,000. Let's just say it was 500,000 people. That's from Newfoundland all the way to the tip of Alaska. There is no one here. There was absolutely nobody here. This idea that the land was stolen, this is insane.
OnePeterFive is a crowd-funded traditional Catholic online journal. We are dependent on your donations to keep this content free for all. Please make a tax-deductible donation at onepeterfive.com/donate.